Hello all, hope you're having a great day today. Today we are talking about chapter 6 and part 2. So here we go. Sport team culture adds a special dimension to the idea of organizational culture because bonds within teams are often very strong. With sport teams come special ways of behaving or goofing off, a special determination to win, ways of dealing with winning and losing. In short, all the bonding mechanisms are in full display. Behavior is observable action, what we do and what we say, and artifacts are the results of our behaviors. Behavior culture, our culture is something that, as you can see here in the little vignette, that looking at those personalities that are so key in our organizations are kind of where those artifacts come from. Values represent the way we think we ought to behave and identify what we think it takes to be successful. Beliefs can be expressed as if-then statements. If I do X, then Y will happen. Values and beliefs are the operating principles that guide decision-making and behavior in an organization. They influence ethical or unethical behavior. We observe values and beliefs only indirectly through the behaviors and decisions they drive. Values and beliefs are often described in an organization's mission statement, but take care here. Sometimes an organization's talk, its stated values and beliefs don't necessarily match its walk when it's put into action. Assumptions are deeply ingrained values and beliefs whose truth is we never question. Because our assumptions are the very foundation of our belief system, they are patently obvious to us, and we assume to everyone else, so we rarely discuss them. They are the automatic pilots that guide our behavior. Naturally, when our assumptions are challenged, we feel threatened. Question a teammate on why things are done in certain ways. If the response is, that's the way it's always been done, you have probably run into an assumption. Assumptions are often the most stable and enduring part of culture and the most difficult to change. Organizational cultures range from strong to weak. In organizations with strong cultures, people unconsciously share assumptions and consciously the organization's values and beliefs. That is, they agree with the organization's assumptions, values, and beliefs and behave as expected. In organizations with weak cultures, many employees don't behave as expected. They don't share underlying assumptions. They question and challenge the beliefs. When people don't agree with generally accepted values and beliefs, they may rebel and fight the culture. This can either strengthen or weaken an organization. Culture is both an entrenched phenomenon and a fluid one. Hence, cultures resist change, but they also continually adapt to the times. In essence, with a strong culture, everyone behaves the same, exhibited by such things as the use of common jargon, dress, and material objects, but they don't in a weak culture. There is good news and bad news about strong cultures. Strong cultures make communication and cooperation easier and better. Unity is common and consensus is easier to reach. The downside is potential stagnation and a lack of diverse opinion. No one thinks about alternative ways of doing things. The continually changing business environment requires that assumptions, values, and beliefs be questioned occasionally and changed when they no longer address the needs of the marketplace. A change in culture is a people changed. To be effective, changes in culture have to occur in all three components: people's behavior, values, and beliefs, and assumptions. A culture of success allows for change, and businesses that fail to move with the times lose their competitive advantage. Two important types of innovation are product innovation, new things, and process innovation, new ways of doing things. You need to actively seek opportunities and take action to create new products and processes. You have to be able to adapt your current practices and thinking and go for innovation. Amer Sports' mission is to provide everyone from first-time participants to professional athletes with the world's best sports and fitness equipment, footwear, and apparel. Amer Sports owns a variety of famous athletic brands such as Salomon, Louisville Slugger, Wilson, and Atomic. Amer Sports believes developing new products requires being innovative and always questioning the way things are done. Process innovation occurs when coaches bring in new concepts for how games are played or how players should train for games. For example, computers are now used extensively during preparation for football games, eliminating much of the time-consuming gathering of video and organizing of notes. NFL coaches can call up any play on the computer that either their own team or competitor has run in previous games. They can retrieve all plays called for a certain down and yardage combination, such as 3rd down and 8 yards to go, and what defense the other team may be playing, such as the dime defense. Organizations need formal structures to coordinate internal activities, but rigid bureaucracy makes it difficult and slow to implement innovations. So-called tall organizations have superfluous layers of management, which slows decision-making and makes them less able to move quickly on opportunities. Organizations are developing innovative cultures by using flat organizational structures. As noted in Chapter 5, flat organizations limit their bureaucracy, divide labor along generalist lines, not by specialties, and routinely use cross-functional teams to get the work done, solve problems, and identify opportunities. Flexibility is the name of their game. Systems are informal and authority is decentralized. Jobs are designed to be richer in content and in responsibility, and work teams are used to make continuous improvements. Large companies commonly create within their divisions the small units and teams that are so essential to innovation. Innovative organizations commonly create separate systems for innovative groups, such as new venture units. They also recruit creative people and train their workforce to think creatively. Yes, it can be done. Their reward system encourages people to think about new ways to do things. Many organizations reward individuals and groups that come up with innovative ideas, with cash prizes such as trips, praise, and always recognition encourages people to explore the less traveled path. High-performing organizations believe that innovation and quality go hand in hand. Characteristics that make a corporate culture innovative are essentially the same characteristics found in organizations that pursue total quality management, or TQM. Outdoor sport and mail order catalog firm L.L. Bean established a total quality and human resource department that led the company's efforts to improve quality, efficiency, and customer service. The TQHR department has saved the company millions of dollars annually from process improvements. The core values of TQM involve a company-wide focus on delivering customer value and continuously improving the system and its processes. TQM cultures emphasize trust, open communication, a willingness to confront and solve problems, openness to change, internal cooperation against external competition, and adaptability to the environment. In TQM organizations, people are the most important resource. Therefore, TQM organizations go to great lengths to make sure their workforce gets the best training available, and they stress teamwork. Employees use cutting-edge technology and innovation to improve customer value. TQM cultures are strong cultures in which values support and reinforce the organization's strategic purpose. People, processes, and resources to create value for customers through continuous improvement. As you know, people can learn, but do you appreciate the fact that everyone you meet in your personal and professional life knows more about something than you do? Make it a habit to get others to pass their knowledge on to you so you can continually learn and improve your performance, and make it a mutual learning experience by sharing your knowledge. Also, like individuals, organizations can learn. That is, they can operate as learning organizations. In addition, companies are now able to make products that learn, such as Fitbit and learning products are the current and future challenge for learning organizations because they will change the basis of a business. Today's managers are knowledge workers, which is a change in the traditional realm of management. Knowledge is a dominant source of competitive advantage because it leads to creativity and innovation. Success often comes from recognizing new opportunities through knowledge of a market, industry, or customers. The learning organization is based on knowledge. In a learning organization, everyone understands that the world is changing rapidly and that they must not only be aware of these changes, but also adapt to the changes and, more important, be forces for change. The learning organization has a capacity to learn, adapt, and change as its environment changes to continuously increase customer value. Organizations need to focus on building corporate learning, which is a much broader idea than simply developing individual skills and knowledge. The learning organization appears to be an effective model for a fast-changing work environment. Learning organizations thus focus on developing good human resources policies that will ensure that they can recruit, retain, and develop the best and the brightest. Learning organizations see that knowledge flows horizontally. This increases corporate learning because everyone in the organization participates in the transfer, sharing, and leveraging of individual knowledge and expertise. Learning organizations also create alliances with other firms to share knowledge horizontally, which is one reason why I ask you to do those discussions. They are so important for sharing your knowledge with your peers and replying back to your peers. I believe you learn from your peers as well as you do from your text from Dr. Kesterson or whoever else. Trust is a crucial part of the learning culture because only by trusting one another can workers fully exploit their own knowledge and expertise. Creating a learning organization demands strong leadership, team-based structures, and a commitment to empower people. Open information strategies built through full employee participation and a strong adaptive culture. Diversity means characteristics of individuals that shape their identities and their experiences in the workplace. Diversity refers to the degree of differences between members of a team or an organization. People are diverse in many ways. As workers, we are commonly classified by our race or ethnicity, religion, gender, age, and other. A few of the other categories are military status, sexual orientation, lifestyles, socioeconomic class, and work styles. Effective organizational cultures value innovation, quality, and diversity. Quality and diversity have a special relationship. To improve the quality of their products and services, organizations must first understand and address the needs of their workforce, and this includes valuing diversity. Innovative organizations have long recognized the realities of the new workforce and how they affect efficiency and effectiveness. Thus, sport managers are promoting diversity for the benefits and value it brings to the organization. And this section will discuss the importance of diversity and valuing diversity and gender diversity. One of the many reasons diversity is important is that discrimination is illegal. Discrimination is one of the more pressing issues in organizations today, including those in sport and leisure. Discrimination is still evident from youth sports through college, including NCAA 1A intercollegiate athletics. Women and minorities are underrepresented in coaching and upper-level management positions of sport organizations. The U.S. Census Bureau estimates that the U.S. population of more than 327 million people will continue to grow slowly and diversify. The Caucasian population is decreasing. Population growth in the United States is occurring among minorities. Hispanics are now the largest minority group in immigrants. Fewer than half of Americans will be Caucasian by the year 2040. By 2060, it is estimated that Caucasians will make up about 43% of the U.S. population, and 1 in 3, or 33%, will be Hispanic. In the global village, the world population of 7.46 billion people will continue to grow, but the decrease in the Caucasian percentage of the total global population will decline at an even faster rate than in the United States. This is especially true in the European Union, where the death-to-birth ratio is even higher. The diversification of America is clearly affecting individuals, sports, businesses, and government. Diversity programs have replaced most equal employment opportunity, or EEO, and affirmative action programs. EEO laws required organizations to treat all employees equally, whereas affirmative action was created to correct the past exclusion of women and minorities from the workforce. Affirmative action programs established percentages and quotas. Although quotas are no longer commonly used, many organizations actively recruit women and minorities with specific quantitative objectives because it's the right thing to do. The NFL developed the Rooney Rule, which requires teams to interview minorities for head coaching and general manager jobs because they are before they're filled. Art Rooney was the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers for many years. Rooney wanted to give minorities an equal chance to be selected for head coach or general manager. Most large organizations today moved from complying with EEO laws and affirmative action quotas to actively recruiting a diverse workforce because research supports the idea that diversified teams and organizations are more innovative and profitable. In other words, diversity is a good strategy for gaining competitive advantage. People with diverse backgrounds bring diverse experiences and viewpoints to bear on problems, and more creative solutions are often the result. Diversity helps the individual, the team, and the organization. When organizations value diversity, they focus on training everyone in the workforce, from all the different races and ethnicities, religions, ages, and abilities, as well as both men and women, to work together effectively so that everyone is treated fairly and justly. The goal is a climate of dignity and trust, and in such a climate, everyone wins. The organization wins because its workforce has a synergy that is fertile ground for creativity and innovation, and this can only help the organization in its ultimate goal of continuously improving customer value. The workforce wins because work becomes a place people can enjoy and value for its fairness and team spirit, and on which they can build a good life. So don't view diversity training as a task to be merely tolerated. It is an opportunity to understand your world better and an opportunity for personal and professional growth. Most organizations have moved from EEO to affirmative action to accept diversity, to valuing diversity, to inclusion. The terms diversity and inclusion have different meanings. Inclusion has the goal of valuing all types of diversity and integrating everyone, not just specific groups like minorities and women, to work together while maintaining and valuing their differences. Inclusion is the practice of ensuring that all employees feel they belong as valued members of the team or organization. An inclusion culture creates a feeling of supportive energy and commitment from others so that everyone can do their best work by incorporating personal diversity. To help make the shift to inclusion, many organizations are now replacing the word diversity with the term inclusion. The MLB now has an ambassador for inclusion. And the Special Olympics, you're seeing unified sports where they're being included into intramurals and other sports programs. Title IX opened the doors for equality of the sexes in the United States, but female athletes often don't truly have equal coaching support and resources, and women face constraints in sport organizations. Although women's sports are growing, it's hard to make social change to true equality between the sexes. The glass ceiling is still a fact of life as women struggle to access middle and upper managerial jobs in sport organizations. Part of the reason is that men have the power in all types of sports and so far have been keeping it. Women make up about half of the U.S. workforce, but they are paid just cents on the dollar compared to men. And highly educated women face greater discrimination. Women performed equally well when compared to men, but they are paid significantly less, and it is more difficult for women to advance. Women are underrepresented at entry levels and every level of management. Men have an estimated 30% greater chance of being promoted into management position. Facing the glass ceiling, few women are promoted to high-level management positions, especially women with children. The most significant factor keeping both women and minorities out of the jobs is discrimination. The United States has the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or EEOC, to handle legal charges of sex-based discrimination and a federal glass ceiling commission to help eliminate the problem. However, as you just read facts, even though discrimination is against the law, they haven't made much progress. It has been estimated that if women globally were offered the same opportunities as men, $28 trillion would be added to global gross domestic product by 2025. Women have largely been limited to coaching other women, whereas men commonly coach both men and women. Men coach women's NCAA basketball and the pro WNBA, but women do not tend to coach men's NCAA basketball or the NBA. In youth sport in many areas, mothers are generally not role models because it is much more common for their fathers to coach their daughters. Females are also much more willing to watch males play sports than males are to watch females. Organizational development is the ongoing planned change process that organizations use to improve performance. HR departments, which we discuss in Chapter 7, are usually responsible for organizational development, or OD, and change agents. Change agents are people selected by HR management to be responsible for the OD program. Change agents may be members of the organization, which are commonly for ongoing issues, or hired consultants that are often for new changes requiring their expertise through direct feedback. In the early 1950s, Kurt Lewin developed a model that is still used today to change people's behaviors and attitudes. Lewin's change model consists of 3 steps. Number 1, unfreezing. This involves reducing the strength of the forces that maintain the status quo. Organizations often accomplish unfreezing by introducing information that reveals the need for the change by showing discrepancies between desired performance and actual performance. With moving, in this step, behavior begins to shift to the desired change behavior. That is, people begin to learn the new desired behavior, and they also begin to embrace the values and attitudes that go with it. Shifts in strategy, structure, technology, and people or culture may be needed to attain the desired change. Refreezing is the desired change becomes the new status quo. Reinforcement and support for the new behavior are often required for refreezing behavior to become a habit. An allegory for this change process is taking an ice cube and melting it back to water and then refreezing it into a new shape. OD interventions are specific actions taken to implement specific changes. What follows is a brief survey of 9 common interventions. One of the oldest and most popular OD techniques is survey feedback that uses a questionnaire to gather data that are used as the basis for change. Survey feedback is commonly used in step 1 of the change model. Different change agents use slightly different approaches. However, a typical survey feedback includes 6 steps. Management and the change agent do preliminary planning to develop an appropriate survey questionnaire. The questionnaire is administered to all members of the organization or unit. Survey data are analyzed to uncover problem areas for improvement, and the change agent presents the results to management. Managers evaluate the feedback and discuss the results with their teams. Corrective intervention action plans are developed and implemented. Robert Blake and Jane Mountain developed the GRID OD, a 6-phase program with a standardized format, procedures, and fixed goals designed to improve management and organizational effectiveness. The 6 phases are: number 1, training. Second is team development. Third, intergroup development. Fourth, fifth, goal attainment. And sixth is stabilization. Sensitivity training includes a training group, a T group of 10 to 15 people. The training sessions have no agenda. People learn about how their behavior affects others and how others' behavior affects their own. Understanding each other's styles and qualities helps people get along better. The popularity of T groups peaked in the early 1970s as organizations began to question the on-the-job value gained from the training. Although T groups are still used, they have largely been replaced by team building and process consultation. Team building is probably the most widely used OD technique besides training. It includes training, and its popularity will continue to grow as more companies use teams. Team building helps work groups to improve structural and team dynamics and thus performance. Team building is a powerful tool and a crucial one as well, because effectiveness and ineffectiveness, both within teams and between teams, will affect the results of the entire organization. Team building can be used as a comprehensive program in which top executives first go through the program and then go through it with their middle managers, who then go through with their groups, and so on throughout the organization. However, team building is more widely used by new or existing groups to pinpoint ways to improve effectiveness. Process consultation is often used in the second stage of team building, but it also commonly used as a separate, more narrowly focused intervention. Process consultation improves team dynamics, whereas team building often focuses on how to get the job done. Process consultation focuses on how people interact as they get their job done. Team dynamics or processes are about how the team communicates, allocates work, resolves conflict, and handles leadership, and how leadership solves problems and makes decisions. Change agents observe team members as they work to give them feedback on the operative team processes. Under the change agent's guidance, the team discusses its processes and how to improve them. Training to improve group processes may also be conducted at this point. The ultimate objective is to train the group so that process consultation becomes an ongoing team activity. We talk more about team dynamics in more detail in Chapter 9. Situations can occur, particularly with rapidly changing technologies that require a solution outside the company's core expertise. In these situations, outside consultations are often brought into act as change agents and to recommend action directly. For example, some teams have hired Amazon and IBM to set up their cloud computer systems. Particularly useful for small groups of 4 to 18 members in problem solving, the force field analysis involves assessing current performance and then identifying the forces hindering change and those driving it. The result is a diagram that gives an overview of the situation. Here in Figure 6.4, the process begins with an appraisal of current performance. This assessment appears in the middle of the diagram. Forces that are holding back performance or hindering it are listed at the left side of the diagram. The forces driving change are listed on the right side. Diagramming the situation clarifies thinking and helps change agents and the small group to develop strategies. The present performance, as you can see, footwear company, they're losing market share. So if we look to the left to the hindering forces, some things that are hindering as high cost of production, slow production process resulting in lost sales, or poor forecasting of demand resulting in some models sitting in inventory while other models are losing sales, and tough competition. The driving forces on the right side are good company reputation. They have good quality competitive products and excellent service, as well as good sales staff and relatively competitive prices. And you can see with this, you're working together and identifying what those hindering forces are with the driving forces and help to improve your present performance. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to talking with you again. Y'all have a great day.